Hi, my name is Pete Swiderski. Today I'd like to talk a little about the clarinet. First thing I'd like to mention is mouthpieces, reeds, and ligatures, a couple of the most crucial and important parts of any instrument. Now on the clarinet, it uses a cane reed, which needs to be thoroughly soaked. These reeds can be most likely soaked in your mouth. Make sure to soak the reed the front and the back. You can put the whole thing in there on a clarinet reed. It's on the small side. Usually about 2 to 3 minutes is the length of time needed to thoroughly soak a clarinet reed. You can tell when you look at the tip of the reed, if the tip is wavy, it goes in waves, then it means it's not quite soaked yet. Soak it some more. Now once the reed is nicely soaked, then it's time to attach it to the mouthpiece. We attach it to the mouthpiece with a ligature. It's important to remember on ligatures that the screws will go on the right when the ligature is facing you. Or when the mouthpiece is facing you. So when I put the ligature on, you'll notice the screw is on the right-hand side. This particular model fastens with the screw on the top. Most clarinet models will fasten with the screws on the bottom, but either way they'll still be on the right-hand side. You'll notice that the mouthpiece has a taper to it. It goes from a thin to a thick end, as does the ligature. Thicker at one end, thinner at the other. The thick end goes on first to effectively slide over the mouthpiece. Now if the ligature is not fitting on right, there's a chance you have it on backwards, or it won't go on far enough, or there's a chance that the screw is too tight. In that case, loosen the screw, then you can put the ligature on farther. Now once all the reed is soaked, and the ligature and mouthpiece are ready, lick the table of the mouthpiece. Then take the soaked reed, place it on the table of the mouthpiece. In this situation, you'll notice it forms a bond that doesn't allow the reed to fall. This is an important part of this reed. It means that the reed is thoroughly soaked and it will set on the table of the mouthpiece and vibrate all the way through. Now I take my ligature, thick end first, slip it over, being careful not to break the tip of the reed. As I do this, if it's not going back far enough, I loosen the ligature screw and push it back until it's in the correct position. Now, to position the reed correctly, use your thumbs and your fingers to move the reed around. Never use the tip of your finger. That will cause damage to the tip of the reed, which will break. Now, if I need to move the reed up and down, I simply use my fingers, pushing up and down, never touching the tip. If I need to move the reed side to side, I just use my thumb to move it back and forth. Now as I position this reed, I want to line it up with the tip of the reed to the tip of the mouthpiece, exactly. And when it's in position, then I tighten the screw down until the reed does not move around on the mouthpiece. So here's what it properly looks like. Tip to tip. You can never take enough time positioning your reed correctly. A reed that's out of position will not play nearly as well as a reed that is in position. Now, forming the embouchure on a clarinet. Embouchure simply means the way you're going to hold your mouth onto your mouthpiece. Once it's all set up, here are the steps for a good clarinet embouchure. Put your bottom lip over your bottom teeth. Next, the clarinet embouchure is a combination of the face E and O. E, O. It's kind of a tug of war between those two sounds. So I put my bottom lip over my bottom teeth, then I make that combination sound of E and O like this. You'll notice first that there's distance between my nose and my lip. I stretch that out. Second thing you'll notice is the bottom lip is tight. You'll also notice that my chin is flat and pointy, and my corners are firm. E, O, distance. Now I put the mouthpiece in my mouth about 1/2 inch. If you look closely at your mouthpiece, you'll see a point where the reed and the mouthpiece meet. At that point, you want to put your teeth above that and maybe slightly before it. So I put it in about that 1/2 inch with my EO, making sure my bottom lip is covering my bottom teeth. My top teeth will go directly on top of the mouthpiece. You'll notice that the clarinet's angle is down when your face is straight. So if my face is straight like this, the clarinet comes in and down. A saxophone would play it straight out, 90 degrees to the face. But the clarinet goes down, more like 45 degrees. Now, on a clarinet, the embouchure is a very firm embouchure, which causes the mouth to be very tight and causes you to have a great amount of control over the mouthpiece. That's the characteristic sound of a clarinet. When you blow air into the mouthpiece, you want a nice, fast, cold stream of air. The mouthpiece pitch should be quite high. You notice that on the piano, it's C. On saxophones, we tend to play our mouthpiece pitch lower in the middle of the mouthpiece. Now let's talk about assembling your clarinet. The first thing to do is grab the 2 main pieces of the body. The one in your right hand has a thumb hook on the back. The one in your left hand has a couple holes in back. Now you'll notice that there are 2 mechanisms that clarinet players have problems getting it together with. This and this one. Now these 2 have to slip across each other, being careful not to ram them into each other. I find that it's easiest to push this key down. When I push it down, you'll notice it moves that key up and out of the way. Then I could gently twist them into position like this. You notice that good position also lines up the keys in a straight line. Now, once the keys are in a straight line and you've pushed it together, the next step is to add the bell. The bell goes on with a gentle twisting motion, just like the other joints. Now, if you find that they're not slipping together easily, take a little cork grease, grease the corks, and slip them together, push them together. I like to twist them in. And with this one, always be careful to lift that key first so you don't jam them into each other. Next step, we add the barrel. The barrel will only go on one way. If it's not fitting on, turn it over and gently twist it in. Once again, if the barrel does not go in easily, don't force it, put a little cork grease on it. Especially if the corks are new, then it makes it a little more difficult to put them together. The last step is the mouthpiece. We've already positioned the reed, so we gently twist the mouthpiece on. And if it doesn't go in for us, put a little bit of cork grease. Now everything should be in a nice straight line. Now for holding the clarinet. Your right hand goes onto the bottom, your left hand goes onto the top. Now I like to number my fingers 1, 2, 3, pinky, and thumb. The thumb comes in back on the thumb hook, and then the fingers go like this, 1, 2, 3, over the 3 holes. Your pinky will take care of this set of 4 keys. Now the inside of your finger here can take care of these set of 4 keys. This key kind of marks the halfway point of the clarinet, right where the joint is. And from there up, we use our left hand. Same fingers, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. The inside of this finger controls these keys. And at the back, the thumb controls the hole and the register key. Now, a couple of very important issues on clarinets for beginners. Notice that on the bottom, your pinkies have a variety of positions. There are all of these keys and these 3 keys that belong to the bottom half of the instrument. Now on the clarinet, you will never ever slide in between these keys. If you're here, you would never slide to this one, or you would never slide to this one, or from here you would never slide to this one, or from here you'd never slide to this one. Instead, what we use are different left-right combinations. For example, the higher note C looks like this. Now if I had to play this note, C, and then I had to play B, I would choose to go C, B, right, left. I would never play C on the left side and then play B on the left side also. It's not practical to get to the key switching in time. Instead, I would choose to go C and then B on this side, or C, B. Now all of the keys on this side have a mate on this side, except for one, this one. This is our E flat key when we're up high. So everything has to be, all finger combinations have to revolve around E flat. So if E flat is on the right, we wouldn't be able to put C as our next note on the right. It would have to be on the left. That's why the clarinet has the right and left combinations, and everything revolves around the E flat. The weight of the clarinet primarily should be held with your thumb and back. For clarinet players, it can be a little bit of a burden on the hand. If it is that way, there are a couple of options that work very well. A clarinet neck strap, I think, is the best option. It simply slips around your neck, goes over the thumb hole. It's kind of made out of a springy Velcro material that brings the clarinet nicely up. It also promotes a good angle on the clarinet by bringing it. Now let's talk a little about tonguing. Tonguing is the way that we attack all of our notes on the instrument, unless they happen to be a slur. The rules for tonguing are this. The tip of your tongue will touch the tip of the reed for the shortest amount of time possible. When you blow air over your reed, it starts to vibrate back and forth very quickly. Putting your tongue on it simply interrupts the vibrations. You can hear. You can hear the vibrations are being interrupted by the tongue. So tonguing is as simple as taking the tip of your tongue, touching it to the tip of your reed. I like to use the syllable to, or do if I need a little bit longer of a tongue. Do, 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 do. Or two. Next, let's talk about maintenance for your clarinet. Depending on the material of your clarinet, whether it's made out of wood or whether it's made out of a plastic material, the insides always need to be cleaned out. First, let's talk about ways to clean out the inside. On the clarinet, the first thing I always do is remove the reed. I like to wipe the reed on my pants or on a sleeve, but I always do it in this direction. This way you avoid going into the tip and breaking it. So just wipe the reed off and then safely store it in a reed guard, which is just a little plastic thing that keeps a reed flat. Just push the reed in there and it safely stores it for the next time. Next step is to remove the ligature. Now, once the reed's off, I use my cleaning cloth with a string and a weight on it to clean it. Depending on the size of your weight, you may be able to get the cleaning cloth to go all the way through. Mine has just a little bit big of a weight, so I'm going to remove the mouthpiece first, twisting it off. And then I'm going to drop the weight into the bell all the way down until it comes out the other end. Now I'll grab it, pull it through. I'll repeat this several times as necessary till the inside is dry. Now you'll notice down into the bell of your instrument there's a little bit of a key that sticks out, and occasionally a cleaning cloth can get stuck in there if it's really tight. If it does, you don't want to force it out. Sometimes it's better to push it back down in, maybe with a very small stick, and then pull it out. But make sure your cleaning cloth is not bunched as you pull it through, otherwise it can get stuck. Then I remove the pieces one at a time. Barrel, bell. Separate the pieces of the body, being careful to twist them off gently. And then I could take my cleaning cloth and run it through the mouthpiece also, depending on the size. I use a separate one for mine because my weight doesn't go all the way through this. your clarinet is made out of a wood, nicer clarinets will be, it's important once in a while to swab the inside with some bore oil. Like this. It comes in just a little thing. You pull it out and just swab the inside with a little bit of the bore oil. This is important at first when your clarinet is brand new, because it can crack easily when it changes temperatures and when the humidity changes. As a clarinet gets older, the danger of cracking is a little bit less, but it can always crack. It's important to get that inside nicely swabbed off with the bore oil. Then it kind of soaks into the wood and helps the wood be a little more flexible and less likely to crack.